Hey, Xiomy here. So today I wanted to give you my September and my October wrap up. Now, I really didn't read a lot of books in these 2 months just because, ironically, I had a lot of work and it's like I couldn't sit down and like take a breather because every single time it was just work and home and work and home. When I say work and home, I mean work. Come home like around 9 o'clock at night, have to go to sleep because I need to recharge batteries, and then do the same thing all over again. FYI, if you hear thundering or if you hear raining, it's because it is, and I really need to film this video. If not, I won't ever film it. So I apologize if you hear any noises and if you hear my dogs barking or anything like that. But I really also wanted to give you my November TBR. Now, I really don't give TBRs because it's like I'm not decisive when I want to read. I just pick up a book and be like, okay, I want to read this one. I'm like, no, I don't want to read that one. But I am going to give you my November TBR because I know that these are the books that I really want to read in November. So without further ado, I'm going to give you my wrap up and my November TBR. So one of the first books that I read for the month of September was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the illustrated version. I have to admit that I loved this world. I loved all the vibes that you get of wizards and magic, and that Hogwarts, it's one that I really would love to actually exist. I really did love this story and everything that it did entail, and I can finally say that I'm on the Harry Potter bandwagon. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars just because it was so lovely to read about these characters and like actually immerse myself in this world. It's like I felt like a 5-year-old child, and that's something that I really wanted to feel. I wanted to feel that nostalgic moment of being a kid again, and it's something that you actually do get with these books. And I loved, like I mentioned, I loved all the wizard vibes that you get. The next 2 books that I'm going to mention are ones that I participated a part of the Diversathon, and the ones that I'm going to mention is The Rest of Us Just Live Here, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. I thought that first of all, I thought this was completely something different, and I don't know, it's like I had a different mindset when I was reading this book out of everything that I had heard. But I really didn't like this book, and that's the one quote from this book that I really did actually like, and it's when I actually also started liking the characters. I did not connect with any of the characters. I was okay with the story. You do get a lot of Buffy vibes in this book, but honestly, I didn't connect with the story. I do love that you have a diverse set of characters, but that's really all I could pick up from this book because I really didn't like anything else. I do think that Patrick Ness could have gone in a different direction with this book, but it was an okay reading experience, but it wasn't one that I was like, oh wow, I loved it so much. That's why I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next and final book that I read for that Diversathon was Everything by Nicola Yoon. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy this story. What I loved about it is that I do love the characters, since you do have a diverse set of characters, and you have in this story a girl who really can't step outside of her house because if not she'll die, because she does have a rare disease. And what I have to say about this is you do have love in it, so that's one thing that I'm going to mention. But the one thing that I'm going to say that I'm shocked and it's like jaw-dropping is what her mother actually did. Now, even though a part of me is like, okay, I understand where she came from, there's another part of me that's like, wow, woman, you really do need help. And you know, it's something that it's very positive to read about because it does tell you about our lives and about people in this world and the things that we actually go through, and it's something that I really did highly enjoy reading about. But there were some things that I was like, okay. But overall, it was a good story, and I highly do recommend it because it is one that, you know, you do take a lot of things out of it, and it is a well-told story, even though some things I don't agree with it. And I think I spoke about those things in my vlog for that TBR or for that Diversathon. But pick it up, it's very good. Next two that I'm going to mention are 2 mangas that I read, and they are The Soul Eaters Volume 1 and 2. Unfortunately, I can't show them to you because they were lent, but I gave these 4 out of 5 stars to both of them. They were okay. I really did enjoy reading these mangas for the first time ever. I did get confused a little bit in how to read them because you don't read them in the basic format. But I overall really did enjoy them. There is one character that like pissed me off because his symmetry was just like, boy, what is wrong with you? Or do you want me to smack you? But I really highly enjoyed them, and I can't wait to actually continue this manga series. The final one that I actually read was The Evil We Love, which is book 5 of the Shadowhunter Academy. Now, I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I did not enjoy it at all, and I'm not being biased because the 4th book the 4th mini book I really did love, but this novella was just like, it was so boring, and I was like trying to speed through it because everything was just, it was boring. I really didn't care about this guy, what's his name, Isabel's father. I didn't care about a lot of things, and it was just like it was an unnecessary story to be told. So that's what I'm gonna take out of it. But it was okay because you had Simon and whatnot. and you did have Isabel, and there were some things that I was like about Isabel, like this isn't the Isabel that I know, but in the end obviously it is explained. But it is a story that I really didn't enjoy so far in the Shadowhunter Academy, and I hope the next ones are very good, but that one was a bit of a letdown. Now for the final and only book that I read in the month of October was The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. This is the final installment in the Remnant Chronicles. Now even though it pains me to say that, I love this story. Now it did take me a while to read this book, but it wasn't because I didn't enjoy it. No, it was just because I had a lot of things on my plate. But I love this story so much. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't know if I mentioned that. I am gonna admit that in the beginning it is a bit slow, and the pace does tend to be like a little bit slippery, because it's like, okay, what's happening here? But it isn't that it isn't necessary, because I really did enjoy it. And one thing I love about Mary Pearson is that throughout this series, all her characters have been developing and have been growing, so they are very character driven. And what I love about this book is that these characters, you get to see them in different aspects, and you get to see them second guessing themselves and even becoming more fierce, or more of a heroine in this case. And I loved everything that entailed in this story. And I have to admit that the assassin did steal my heart. His story was so heart-wrenching, how his past was just brought to his face, and how he had to deal with it was something that I personally really did enjoy. I have to admit that the prince, at times I wanted to just be a book jumper and jump in here and smack the crap out of him, because some things really did piss me off about him. But I loved all the other characters, how unique they are and how distinctive, and how they play such a good role in this story is one that I really did enjoy. And like I mentioned, I'm sad to say that this story came to an end, but I love that it happened, and I can finally say that, you know, one of my favorite series did end, but it ended on such a good note. But I do have to admit, I would have loved an epilogue in this book, because you don't get that one, and I would have loved that epilogue to further immerse myself into that world and give me a better and extreme lovely closure, which was one thing that it is lacking in this book. But overall, I enjoyed it so much, and this series is just amazing. Now as for my November TBR, I'm doing quite well, so I'm gonna pat myself on the shoulder. I already read a graphic novel, and I am halfway. Well, not halfway. I'm like gonna finish this today. Honestly, this is A Torch Against the Night by Sabata here. I have to admit that this book, oh my god, it's giving me so many feelings, like so many emotional feelings, that I can't handle it. But I love it that it is non-stop action. But this is very good story, and it does pick off right where An Amber in the Ashes left off, which is something that I love in stories. The next two books that I'm going to mention are two books that I want to read before Tome Topple, because Tome Topple starts on November 18th, and I need to finish these two by that month, because I really, well, by that month, no, but by that time, because I don't know really what's going to be in that readathon, and I really want to get different books in that readathon. So I really want to finish these two books, which I know I'm going to finish An Ember in the Ashes today. But the ones that I'm going to mention is that I'm going to reread Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. You do have every single character who is diverse, which is something that I really do love in stories. And you also have a major heist that these characters have to accomplish, and it's just, you know, they're retelling toward that accomplishment and actually immersing yourself in the backstory of these criminals, because it is your ragtag team of criminals, which is one thing that I love. After finishing Six of Crows, I'm going to obviously immerse myself in the other half of the duology, and that is Crooked Kingdoms. I cannot, you know, look how beautiful these pages are. You know, this book is gorgeous and lovely, and I cannot wait to actually read this book, because Six of Crows ended on such a huge cliffhanger, and I really am going to be optimistic for two specific characters, but I know some things are going to transpire in this book that are just going to be so heartbreaking, and I cannot wait to actually immerse myself in this world. But those are the three main books that I want to read before Tome Topple starts. I'm gonna do a video on the books that I'm going to read for Tome Topple, but that's all that I want to share with you. Those are all the books that I read for September and October, and those are the three books that I want to read for November. If you want to tell me which are the books that you want to read for November, then feel free. We'll chit chat down below. That's it for my video. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.